All right, good evening. I am sitting outside and you hear the birds chirping. Really nice. It feels so good out here. It's not too hot. It's after 7. Just sitting out here and enjoying the space for a moment. But anyway, I wanted to talk about, and God knows when I'll post this. But I have talked about how coming to the place of discovering that, I said the lady who raised me was not my birth mother. And some things I discovered, that I have mentioned, in regards to what was done to me in my life, okay, that caused me to run. But I don't want to say I think about her, because I really don't. People ask me, when I shared this with people one-on-one, how did you feel when you found out? And I was like, I was glad. Okay. Not that I don't want to give the wrong impression. Okay. I don't know I don't know if she was always what she had come to be them last few years, or if, people talk about people being cloned. You know what I'm saying? Just something was different. Okay, and as I say that, my face is twisted up, because I was looking like, I was always the type, I used to love to hug up on her, and, I'd sit in her lap. I'd be 18, 19, 20 years old, okay? I just was always like that, cuddly and, hug and all of that stuff. And she just wasn't like that, but, she would let me do it. But she just wasn't really like touchy-feely. And I remember as I had caught a picture one day, and I looked at the picture, and it just threw me completely off, and I was like, who is this person? Now, this could have just been my awakening, okay? Because, when you living under the veil of illusion, shit, like that card in the Hoodoo Tarot deck, the Tower card, I don't think it's called that in the Hoodoo Tarot deck. I can't think of, but, this guy's looking through rose-colored glasses, and everything looks okay through the rose-colored glasses. But, when you really look at it, people falling out the house, the house is burning down, you don't really see what's right before your eyes. But I do, in one aspect, and it's not about me being torn or anything like that, because it is what it is. The truth is the truth. But I think about, sometimes, I don't think about it too much anymore. It's just a matter of me at this point, just move forward. Just moving forward. But I think about, when I did, like I said, I don't think about too much now. My life growing up with her and my sibling. And to me, during those times, I feel like, even though, like I said in the videos, honey, I had a lot of questions. I remember from when I was small, very small. I just knew something was weird and something was off. It wasn't with her. I never felt that with her. Her family, most definitely. And I have expressed this to at least one person in that family. So ain't no need nobody, acting crazy and funny. But, so I'm just saying, it ain't nothing. I'm just saying just because I'm making a video. No, I expressed it long ago. Okay, long before I got on YouTube. Something never felt right. Never felt right. And I'm not saying her family was mean to me. Well, the last couple of years they was with their black magic witchcraft, but others, more so aunts, uncles, okay, her brothers and sisters. Growing up, they were never mean to me or anything like that. Never. Now, I can imagine they probably looked at me and looked at her and said, who you think you fooling, whose child is that? Matter of fact, I did have one of her nephews said to me that when I was born, like when they brought me home, he said, we all laughed. We laughed at you. And I was like, well, why? And he said, because of the way you looked, you did red and you had this blonde hair. And he said, we even asked, where Auntie been? Whose child is that? You know. But now, anyway, he has since departed, quite a few years ago. But nobody ever hurt me or anything like that. Now, he was one I did have to run from. Thank God for discernment, even as a young child, because I just leave that right there. But he never got a hold of me, I'll put it that way. But the interesting thing is, when I got much, much older, like in my late 20s, when I was in seminary, actually we became friends. He used to call me, ask me for advice and everything, because he met this lady, started going to church and all that kind of thing. But anyway, but they were all very, very kind to me. Okay. I can't think of anything ever that any of them did in any way, shape, or form to hurt me in any way. They didn't. They did not. But at the same time, I just felt off. Like I don't know them. I don't know these people. I'm not supposed to be here. Something, it just never felt right. Even as I got older, and I mean much older, even like 30s, 40s, go around, I was used to them, but it's just like something in me just felt like I just felt off, like this doesn't feel right, for me. I'm not saying they was crazy or nothing like that. I'm saying about the inner knowing, the inner self knowing that these people are not your blood, okay? But anyway, I want to say, given the circumstances, and this is not to excuse what I believe, okay, beyond a shadow of a doubt, she was up to. But I will say, I feel like, given the circumstances, because first of all, like I said, I believe that the man who, her husband at the time, I do believe that he is my biological father. I do favor him, okay, favor some of his family. And that was one thing, because they were separated, divorced. I didn't really get a chance to grow up around my father's people. But whenever I was around them, I always felt like, I just kind of resonated with them more, And I said, well, I probably just have their personality, because the lady who raised me, she was kind of more reserved, where my father's family, they were a little bit more outgoing, okay? Okay. But she was more of a reserved person. But I do feel, and she, like I was saying, she didn't have to keep me. I don't know what that was all about. I do think money was involved, okay? Given who the birth mother is, I do think money was involved. All right. But basically, I feel like, he just kind of abandoned me and left me there with her, which to me, I think is kind of nuts, given the fact that you made me with some other person while you was married to her. I guess they was legally married at that time. And it was just, are you kidding me? You know what she could have done to me? Like physically and verbally and emotionally. But she did do some shit, not physically, like that, But do you understand what you did? You understand the emotional trauma that you placed on her. And I don't know what their relationship was like. Okay. She wasn't really one to talk about those types of things. Give you kind of maybe a couple of words if you ask a question, How did you all meet at church? That's it. No, not really going in any kind of detail or anything like that. Maybe because things were hidden. Maybe that's just her personality. I don't know. But anyway, so, and even though, like, I did a video, forgiving my father. I love my father. Okay. But it still is just like, That was kind of crazy for you to do that, you know. But anyway, so in one respect, when I found out, I said to myself, you know, she didn't have to keep me, you know, and God knows what could have possibly happened to me. You know, I could have been thrown in the system, foster care, you know, anything. Okay. So, but she did provide, you know, shelter. She provided clothes and food. Okay, sent me to very nice schools. All right, raised me in the church. Get, you know, give me some kind of moral compass. Okay, things of that nature. And I'm not going to say like, because we went to private schools, and you know, at one point, of course, I believed, okay, and she paid for me to go to school, paid tuition. I don't know what, from what I've come to understand, I don't know, that may not have been, that money might have been came from another source. I'll put it like that. Okay, because I do think money, once again, was involved here with my situation. But anyway, but I sometimes, you know, and sometimes I do have some of her mannerisms, the way I talk sometimes. And I did a video recently. Shit, did she get that from me or did I get it from her? But honestly, you know, I thought this was my mother. And see, I was the type of child with her, with a parent, like, you know, I would be very content being with her or my grandmother. You know, I was around her all the time. Matter of fact, I remember they said that they didn't think that I was going to make it away at college. They thought I was going to want to come home to be up under her. Because, you know what I'm saying? Because, hey, that's how I was. That's my mom, you know. I love my mother, you know. So, of course, I picked up her mannerisms, some of her way of doing things, manner of speech, so on and so forth. But... And that's not to exclude my father, because I definitely, even she used to look at me and be like, you just like your daddy. You know, but the way I would say things sometimes, the faces I would make sometimes, okay. Even my dad's sister, one time we were out eating, and she looked at me, I don't know what I said, some kind of face I made. She looked at me, she said, you look just like daddy, talking about my father's father. And if you saw him and me, you would think, huh? You know, but she said, the way that face you made, you look just like him. But anyway, some things, like I said, she provided for me, and she provided well. Again, I don't know where that money came from. Now, I'm not going to say that she wasn't none of the money out of her pocket. I can't say that, okay? But she taught me some things. She taught me a lot of shit. A lot of shit that had really helped me on this journey these last few years of the shit I've dealt with people's black magic witchcraft, and you know, all of that kind of crazy ass shit, and the gang stalking and all of that kind of silly shit that they do. She taught me because I'd always felt, I think I said in a video, you know, like the black sheep. You know, I think a lot about the church I grew up in, being talked about, like cast aside, you know, looked down on. Just these things people do when they target you and they don't like you because you're different. And see, they might have been even, like one girl from church, she told me, she was like, Nikki, their parents must have taught them to do that to you. And they very well may have, because see, I don't know what these people, I don't know if it's some kind of coven, some kind of secret group. I don't know. I don't care. I do not care. It's not my issue and not my problem. Just like I let it be known, you know, I am here. I was formed in knit in my mother's womb. I was birthed. I am here. Whatever that situation was in regards of how I came to be, it is not my issue. It is not my problem. It is not my burden. That's y'all. Deal with it or not. Makes me no difference. Because I'm my own independent being. Okay? And I feel like God wanted me here. I don't know if I wanted to be here, but I feel like God wanted me here, and that's the end of that. So whatever it was all about, who if their mamas taught, because I could never figure it out. What did I do? I'm telling you, I remember shit from like when I was, 3-4 years old. Sunday school. 5, 6. You know, and these are not things, I'm not saying that to say that, I'm holding on to the past. Not at all. Not at all. But I couldn't figure out where it came from, what it was all about. And I knew she was different. So I thought maybe it was just, some passed down something from her. But then as I got older, I saw some things that were, no, that's not the case. Okay. But anyway, but I just want to say she taught me some things. Okay. She gave me some words of wisdom. Like when I would go through things like that, okay, I can say based off the wisdom that she gave me, okay, especially if, hold on. If my birth family happens to listen to my channel, because they know, they're well aware. She did give me some words of wisdom. I don't know if she thought I was going to actually live those things out, or if she thought, this girl ain't listening to me. Yes, I was. Now, I might not have in my youth, knew how to embody it, absorb it, really, like understand it, understand it, I don't know. I don't think I did, but as I got older, honey, them words stayed with me. So, regardless of the nefarious actions, it's like there is the pendulum gonna swing both ways. Regardless of like I said, the nefarious actions, the malevolent spirit of things. The things that she taught me and instilled in me to carry on, were planted. Along with some other shit, but that most definitely, those seeds were planted. And those things have, and I told her after I moved on away and ran for my life, like she even told me when the Bible where, it says about David when Saul was after his ass and he had to run. Okay? It be that way sometimes. Right? But, yeah, so I just wanted to say that she did, from my perspective at that time, from what I could see and what I felt loved by her. So, sometimes I felt like she liked him more than she liked me, like I said in the video. And I told her that at one point. Okay, when I was older, but growing up as a young person, I felt loved. I felt taken care of. I even felt at times adored. Sometimes she would do kind of like extra special things for me. Now that might be love bombing or whatever shit. Okay, but she did. She did. It was never a question. So many questions I had, feeling so strange, feeling so off. Things were just, okay. And some of those things I'll share at another time because I don't think it's the right time now. But I never felt that with her. Never, never. And I'm talking about in my youth. I'm talking about as a child, teenager, very young woman. Okay. I never felt any of that. Never questioned her. Never questioned, who is this woman and all of that. Absolutely not. She did in those, I don't know, maybe the motivation, maybe she did love me. Or maybe she, had compassion for me, seeing as given the situation and your daddy don't want you. Well, she wasn't going to throw me out in the street. And money might have played a factor as well. But regardless, I said, I don't know. I don't know all the details. But if it's for me to know all the details, they will be revealed. Okay. But, she did provide, a loving environment for me. She did some very nice things for me. She took the time to listen to me as a young woman, young girl, teenager, my issues, my problems, my blah, 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 what a mother would do or should do. She did those things. Okay? I find myself, even now when I talk to my daughter and sharing with her to help her on her journey of life and her path of life, saying, well, she said, or she told me, and I found it to be true. Her words gave me strength. The words that she, they did. They strengthened me, gave me strength, made me strong. The insight, helping me to see, to understand life as much as she could give, were very powerful. Very powerful. I thought that even as a teenager, even when she would piss me off, make me mad and all that kind of stuff, I thought that she was a beautiful woman. I don't mean in terms of physicality. I'm not saying that she wasn't unattractive physically. But I thought that she was a beautiful woman, a beautiful person. And I used to say, I hope I'm like my mother. When I get older, I hope I'm like my mother. She was there for me. Okay. I remember when my sibling, he was older than me, when he went away to school, it was just me and her. Oh, I had a wonderful time. I was a senior in high school. I really, not that I ain't like him being there. I'm just saying. It was just a time for me and my quote-unquote mother. Okay? So when things began to change within the last maybe 4 or 5 years, and I looked and I said, I don't know who this person is. This don't seem like the same person that I knew. This doesn't even look like the same person that I knew. And I know sometimes our features and whatnot change when we get older, but it wasn't just that, it was the spirit of it. It was just something different, something off, something right. And that same kind of joy that I would feel, wrapped in her arms, I was like, I couldn't even find myself making my way to hug her. Something is different. I don't know, maybe, they, like I said, folks talking about folks being cloned, your relatives being cloned. Maybe, I don't know. You don't know secrets, you don't know things people have done in the dark, years ago, and now here's come to pay the piper. You just don't know. Okay, I have some thoughts, some ideas, whatever, but it's just not my issue, okay? But I just wanted to say that, okay? And that's for me. That's not for anybody else, okay? Why is she saying that about her? And all of that kind of thing. I don't care what you think. Okay? And it's not so much about she talking about how to cook, she talking about, yeah, she really wasn't into that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? She worked all the time. But she gave me some serious words of wisdom. So sometimes, when we may be placed in these situations, I think I said yesterday, I did a video, something about if I was where I was supposed to be, or raised where I was supposed to be, and it just kind of hit me later on, maybe where you were is where you were supposed to be. And like one lady said it, one reader that I watched, and I agree with her, and because I thought this before. See, and I'm sure other readers have said it too. Okay, who I call them readers that maybe more than readers, chosen people, star seeds, these various titles here, I don't know, okay, but more than just a reader, more than just a reading cards for someone, okay, that some of us were placed in these people's lives for them, to assist them, to help them, maybe to help their family, to help their bloodline. But see, that human thing again that I was talking about, that lower aspect of ourselves, these are the things that get played on. These are the things that, our weaknesses can be easily manipulated. And then when people have secrets and whatnot that they're not dealing with, well, there's these spirits and these energies, these other forces that they know what it is. They know how to get you. They know how to turn you. They know what your weakness is. And really, it's not so much to destroy necessarily those chosen people, those chosen by God to go be in those people's lives. They help you, you help them. They assist you, you assist them and raise them. Because maybe again, you're chosen of God. Like they say, star seed. Okay, I don't know some of the other titles, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. To assist them and whatnot. What happens is, because we all have choices. And I pray for myself, even as I say these things for myself. May I always make, the right choice. May I not allow myself to, my lower aspects or my weaknesses, get the best of me. May I stay in the mode of prayer. May I stay in communication, with God. With my father, my great mother. Okay, may I always be willing to take the time to look at myself and reflect on those things in me that need to be reconciled, cleaned up, so that I don't find myself. What does the scripture say? Something about in the end days, the last days, something about the very elect, where the very elect could be deceived. It's just that the illusion and the trickery is just that deep. It's just that great. It's just that strong. The very elect, those chosen ones, could be deceived. Anything could happen. Anything could happen to cause a person to fall. In this treacherous realm we live in. So it's sad because those who, like I said, being tricked out of your chosenness, many are called, few are chosen. I mean, get that. Many are called, but few are chosen. Because we have free will, regardless of the circumstance of our life, regardless of the weakness that can be manipulated and played on to trick us out of our divinity, our greatness, our kingdom status, queendom status, whatever the case may be. You understand? So it's sad because you look for those who have had these experiences that I hear about many people having. You look and you see, wait a minute, those people who quote unquote family, quote unquote friends, people who've known you, and all of a sudden they banding together to do you in and destroy you and all of that kind of thing. Wait a minute. Because I hear some readers talk about, I don't really use the terminologies when I read, okay? The karmics and divine masculine and divine feminine and whatnot. I've used them a little bit here and there. I think I did on my other channel, but yeah. And I'm not saying that they're wrong or anything like that. It's just not terminology that I'm using at this point. I might as time goes on. I'm not going to just jump into something that, and I'm not there at that point. Okay, but what I'm saying is, I've heard where readers talk about these divine people, whether masculine or feminine, losing their divine status. Okay, turning quote unquote karmic. Some of these people, I feel like, were supposed to work with you. But see, that money god, if they feel like, they'd already know you, found out some kind of way that you're supposed to get money, that money god. And like I was listening to somebody today saying, they were saying all this person wanted was money and sex. And it runs out, then what? That's it? These are not things that are everlasting. The quick fixes, quick, wanting to, have that lower aspect of ourselves fulfilled quickly. That shit feel good, quick. It feel good when you got some money, you go shopping. That shit feel great. Sex, it don't always feel good. But that's not that sometimes you be having sex and don't feel like shit, but you be wanting to, and you just keep doing it. Some people, like they say about like a drug, it's a high, it's an initial high. And you keep going after it, and each time you're looking for that high that you had, maybe that first time or that second time, something like that. You've heard addicts talk about that. And then before you know it, you done caught, I'm hearing a case, but like caught a case of an addiction that's ruined your life, ruined your home, ruined yourself, ruined your being, and now you got to try to work to clean yourself. Get to a point, get your mind to a point But you don't need that thing no more. You don't want it no more. You decide, I don't want it anymore. And then work at that. When it never really had to be that in the first place. This is not judgmental. I'm just using that as an example. You know? So I don't know. I just know my own experience with her. But I had despite many times, like I said, I felt weird, strange. I ain't supposed to be here. Something's off. Who are these people? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Why they treat me like this? Why I'm not a black sheep? Why she love him more than me? All of these types of things. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And so it's like, but at the same time, I'm like, well, you know what? In the midst of the heat that I was in and the battle that I was in, okay? And I'm going to make it clear. I don't mean with nobody on this platform. Period. Not NAM 1. I'm talking about people who mattered. Who I gave a piece of a damn about. Okay. And they was attacking me with that shit. That black magic shit. For silly ass reasons I really don't know. I really don't care. It's not my issue. It ain't my fucking problem. Okay. I know I got some ideas. I don't know the specifics. Only they know. But listen. Okay. And like I said, I had, like David, I had to run. Shit. Here come, what was his name? Saul. David was helping them play. Saul had them mental problems and shit. David playing the harp, was it the harp? I can't remember, whatever musical instrument that was, giving them some music therapy. But at the same time, he was like, I'm going to kill you, nigga. Because he was chosen by God. Saul wasn't. The people chose Saul. God told me, I don't need no motherfucking king. Well, we want one. I'm your king. No, we want one. Okay. So they went and chose him. And God chose David. A young fella, a boy with a slingshot that they probably was looking at like, what is he gonna do? But Saul was jealous of him. And even though he helped him and he assisted him, okay, he was, still run. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill you, nigga. You're not taking my spot. You're not taking my place. Oh, you ain't better than me. What you mean God chose you? Who's you? Okay. And he had to run for his life. He gonna kill me, goddamn. I got to go. You understand what I'm saying? But some of them words, honey, that she told me helped me. Even though to me it looked like she part of this. I'm gonna leave that alone. She helped me. Those words from then, growing up, were helpful to me. Laid a strong foundation in me. And I can't say that she, this was her plan all along. And I don't know. I don't know what their secrets are. Keep them. I don't want to know. Unless God want me to know, then he'll let me know, however he chooses to. But thank you. Like I said in the video, even those who, had nefarious plans for you, helped get you to where God wants you to be. Just like Saul helped David get him to where he wanted him to be. Well, now he's held as the greatest king in all of Israel to this day. Okay. So I just wanted to say that. I was going to try and think of some specifics, but I don't have to do all that. But she did. She gave me a strong foundation. Taught me well in regards to helping me to, become when I needed in the thick of things, many things, not just that, but many things in my life. When I needed, and her not being here, because like I said, I used to call her sometimes 2 or 3 times a day when I would live out of state, when I lived away from her. And if I didn't call her one day, she called, you ain't called me, everything all right? Well, yeah, I call you every day. I just didn't get to it today. Yeah, but you call me every day. And when I moved away, and then she moved away, I felt, it was so weird. I felt so weird. It felt like I was unplugged. Somebody said you was unplugged. It took me a while to get through that. And then more things being revealed, more and more things being revealed. Okay. I had some heavy ass cries. Cried some heavy tears. Cried so hard one time, shit, I thought I was about to die. I told someone, she said, much older than, she said, that's a broken heart. She said, I know them tears. I know I've cried those types of tears. I've cried that cry before. That's a broken heart. It's exactly what I felt because I was holding my heart. Okay, but I had a few of them times, honey. When you think your life is one way, and then shit start going crazy and acting strange and different. What's going on and whatnot. Okay, and a part of you is kind of, there's one part of you in the back of your head saying like, I knew it. I knew it, but didn't think I'd see it. Didn't think it would actually come to fruition, or for me to see it, or have to be in a place where I'm facing it now, so I have to accept it. Boom, here it is. And when I would cry them tears, boy, listen, I knew that was part of my healing. I knew. It's like, you got to get through this. You got to get through this. And even in those times, and even in those spaces of where I was crying in tears, oof, I could still hear some of them words of wisdom she gave me. I could still hear it. I couldn't hate the woman. I don't. And I was talking to a coworker. I was sharing with him what was happening. I didn't have anybody to talk to. Everybody, it was like everybody was gone. When I say I ran, I ran. And he said, that's your mama. That's your mama. And I was like, yeah, but she this and she that and this, that, and the other. And I found out, blah, blah, blah. He said, yeah, but that's still your mama. You got to tell her thank you. And I'm sitting there looking like black folks are always on this shit. But you know what? I said, okay. And I did. I wrote her and I told her, thank you. Thank you for what you did do. Thank you for the beautiful home you provided. Thank you for the good food. Thank you for the good times. I traveled a lot growing up. My mother was very open. She even told me that me and my siblings, she said, y'all taught me things. Things that I didn't know. I got to travel. Like I said, I was a church kid. I wouldn't start going to church with my grandmother. That church I be telling y'all about in them videos. Nope. It was an element of mean in that space. But I went to church with my grandma. My grandmother's church was on and popping, baby. They were warm, they were welcoming, they were friendly. And Sunday morning service was like an event. We had a good time. I know I did. And I really blossomed there. And I loved it. you know. But she sent me to good schools. Okay, very good schools. I felt so comfortable with her that I pretty much told her just about everything about me, which might not have been the best thing, but I did, because that's how comfortable I was with her. Okay, so even like I'm just saying, even in those times, I was just like, you know, that tower moment here, boom, and I cried them tears, them heavy ass tears. I never cried like that before. Never cried like that. My daughter was with me the whole way. She saw me crying in tears. I cried so hard I was like a limp dog on the edge of my bed. And let me reiterate, it ain't got nothing to do with nobody on this goddamn platform. Nobody I met on this motherfucker. Or who wants to throw my name around and don't know me from a fucking can of paint, but from a couple of months of hello. And nobody, no goddamn body else who probably was paid to say some bullshit. I was like a limp doll. Like, yeah, like a Raggedy Ann doll, just like that. You got it. I used to have that doll when I was a little girl. I loved my little Raggedy Ann doll and her yarn hair. Matter of fact, I think I will make a community, a post on my community tab about the history of Raggedy Ann and how well loved she was. And probably still is to this day. But I was just like that, honey. All I could do was lay down, barely cook. I was still going to take care of my daughter, make sure she had some food to eat. And she came in, Mommy, are you hungry? He brought me some food. Even in them times, like I said, them words that woman gave me that built a strong foundation, that is shit. That lady was strong. Okay? I don't know where she is now, but she was strong. Unmovable. Strong foundation. Knew who she was and wasn't going to let nobody deter her from that. Now, I don't know what happened later on. I don't know what element came in. But again, even in those times, I remember them words that got me through. And I told her, thank you. I have no hatred for anyone or anything. I do hate bullying, but for anyone, I don't have that. I don't have it. It is what it is. I'm thankful. I'm thankful to God. Truly, I am. It's a Wonderful Life. That's like one of my favorite movies. It's a Wonderful Life. Christmas time when I was a teenager. Oh my God. It's a Wonderful Life and a Christmas Story. This was when they had the TV guides, like the paper TV guides. And that movies would come on back on different channels. And what's the other one? Charles Dickens, A Christmas Story. Ain't that what it's called? Y'all know what I'm talking about, Scrooge. Listen, it would Channel 3. It would be on. Wonderful Life would be on from like 12 to 2, and then it'd become on channel 5 from like 2:30 to 5 what was it, 4:30 or something like that. I used to watch it back to back. Oh, I love Christmas time, honey. I used to love it. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I just, I've gotten into this place and space, like if something is placed on your heart, share it, with some direction. I don't mean stupid shit. I'm saying about, if God placed something on your heart to, to share it. And I want to share that. I know reading my videos, it may sound like, you don't sound like you feel like that. That should be harsh, but it's the truth. And if it ain't resonating, if it ain't true for me, it's true for somebody out there. And remember, readings are for entertainment purposes only. Everything ain't about me. All right. I'm going to go find me a square. I even find with that, I never was a big heavy smoker, unless I'm sitting around talking to somebody, we just have some good kickback ass conversation. But I'm even feeling, not even really craving that much anymore. It's just more becoming just a habit. I mean, just in my mind, it's when I go smoke cigarette, boredom, whatever the case may be. Waste of money. Well, somebody might say, no, it ain't. But anyway, y'all be blessed. Be free. I can talk about the negative things, and I will. I can talk about the positive things too, the positive aspects of things as well. And I will.